I was born here in this city. My father's family is from here. Tauranga is my home. And today I am here with all of you to share an idea, to have a conversation about something I am passionate about. First of all though, have you ever played Stuck in the Mud? In this game, everyone is running around and there is someone whose job it is to tag people. And when they are tagged, they have to stand still with their legs apart, stuck, until someone who is still free can scramble underneath their legs, and this frees them to run and join back in the game. Have you ever felt like that? Stuck in mud, stuck in life, as though you are unable to participate, join in, and feel the freedom that those around you look like they're experiencing? I've felt like that throughout my life. I was born with my heart on the outside of my chest. Yes, it's still on the outside of my body, beating a little bit quickly at the moment, underneath my clothes. I was also born with clubbed feet. And yes, they are still clubbed feet, which proved to make walking difficult. Medical professionals described my heart condition as ectopia cordis, and further issues within my heart, tetralogy of Fallot, a left to right shunt, a hole in my heart, and most imminent death within the first day of my life. Standing before you is a 37-year-old woman, alive and well, and I am living out the idea of this conversation today, that stuck doesn't mean stay. I am the only person living here in New Zealand with this extremely rare condition. Being born with my heart hanging on the outside of my chest, totally exposed, shocked everyone. I was placed in an incubator and rushed to Green Lane Hospital in Auckland. My parents were told to prepare for the phone call that would tell them I had died. Skin was grafted from my leg and placed on my heart. Nothing else was done. My chest cavity is not properly formed, and so operating to try and put my heart back inside my chest would not be possible and highly risky. For 9 months, I was there in Auckland, away from my family. My mother would commute once a week from Tauranga to Auckland to come and visit me, and on that day, I was a good girl. Until my parents were ready to take me home. They were told by some family members, "She is a curse for everything you've ever done wrong. You should put her in a home and forget that she exists." My parents defied those people because of a strong conviction that I had been born and given life for a purpose. They had encountered faith in God, and they raised me in this faith too, which has secured me in difficult times. I walked at the age of 4 and started school at 5. To family members again saying, "You should put her in a special school because she's probably dumb." I went to a regular primary school, wearing a fiberglass shield that strapped around my chest underneath my clothes that had to be bigger to stretch over it. I also wore calipers strapped around my legs, and I had specially built shoes made at the hospital. Nope, not the most flattering ensemble. All topped off with a pink bag, because I am the only girl in my family, and naturally everything I owned was pink. At 5 years old, I quickly learned that I was physically slower than other kids, looked different to other kids, could not do some of the things like other kids. I could not understand why I was so different. What was wrong with me? And why couldn't it be fixed? Why did kids tell me I was a freak, or ugly, or slow? Going out in public, people would point and stare. Shopkeepers would accuse me of stealing things and putting them inside my jersey. Like a shopkeeper in a fruit shop once did when she asked me to put the apple I had under my jersey back on the shelf, please. She didn't believe me or my mother when we both told her that in fact it was my heart. So I had to pull up my jersey and show her my heart in the middle of the fruit shop. She got a fright and began offering me all this free fruit. And I thought to myself, I could use this. It seemed everywhere I went, people were curious about me or afraid of me. And I grew frustrated at my limited body and these stupid legs that wouldn't move the way I wanted them to. By the age of 10, I had decided it was too hard. And I sought a way out. I wanted to end my life. And I went into the bathroom and got a razor blade out of the cupboard. I didn't know exactly what to do with it. I just knew that I could seriously harm myself. Oh, I desperately needed an answer. Needed a sense of hope. A reason to keep going. And in that moment, I prayed. And suddenly, an image of my younger brother came into my mind. Joshua is his name. He, with his hope-filled eyes and life-giving smile, he was 5. And I began to think about him. About how my decision to end my life would affect him. What kind of example would I be setting for him? He was my reason to keep going. I would choose to live for him. And for all of the things that I could impart to him so that he would know that no matter how hard life got, I would be here for him. My name is Aisha, and I am here now. At the age of 10, the decision to be here today wasn't what was in my mind, but a dilemma of how to choose not to be stuck on the inside. At the age of 11, the doctors came and told my family and I, there is an operation we can do on your legs to make them like everyone else's. My family and I said yes. We said yes to what looked like a Meccano set encasing my foot and my ankle. The Elizarov apparatus consists of pins going through my leg, attached to a metal frame with screws on it that had to be screwed a quarter of the way around every day. It was painful. What followed was 2 years of pain, 2 years of in and out of hospital, 2 years of waiting and enduring. I wore the apparatus for 6 months on each leg, followed by my legs being in plaster, then the long, hard road of physio and learning to walk again, and a trip to Tauranga to buy my first pair of shoes from the shop. I don't know if anybody else buys their shoes from Tauranga. Those purple and black shoes were a dream come true that soon turned into heartbreak when shortly after I went through a growth spurt and my legs went back to how they were before the operation started. What do you do when the dream doesn't come true? What do I do when it seems that this disabled, deformed body is going to become my permanent frame. What do I do when stuck is threatening to become stay? I keep going, just so it doesn't. At 26 years of age, I got a brain abscess. And from this, I learned about the true magnitude of my heart condition. I learned that my heart and my lungs don't filter out infection very well, which is how I got the brain abscess, because of an infection in my teeth that traveled to my brain. I learned that my heart is not like a normal heart. The good blood doesn't separate properly from the bad blood. I learned that the valve that takes oxygen to my lungs is narrow. That's why my fingernails and my lips are blue. I learned that I should not have children because it's a risk to my life and to theirs. Many times I have battled the game of stuck in the mud and have had to pull myself out of the mud of people's opinions and cruel remarks, out of the mud of my own fears and insecurities, out of the mud of doubt and self-pity, out of the mud of inadequacy and self-hatred. Stuck in the mud would only become stay in the mud if I let it. To choose to not let this happen is what makes my life worth living. From birth to a 5-year-old in a primary school, to a 10-year-old wanting to give up, to a 13-year-old struggling with my identity, to a 26-year-old grappling with the true nature of what I have to live with. Stuck in the mud would only become stay in the mud if I choose to let it. Over 37 years, I have been ridiculed, mocked, laughed at, left behind, left out. I have been poked, prodded, accused of stealing things. I've been scanned, written about, observed, marveled at. At any point in 37 years, mud could have had me stuck. And at any point in your life too, this kind and different kinds of mud could have had you stuck too. But you're here, and I'm here because I chose not to stay. Moving with mud on me is the story of my life. The difference between stuck and stay is 37 years of choosing that no matter what, the transition past the point of stuck and the transition past the point of stay is always the destination. Thank you very much.